One thing that's really prevalent at this day and age is they don't make things like they used to. And if you want an upgrade, you've got to take yourself back in time. What have I done? Is 31 years too much? Let's take a look and see at this project and how deep I'm in trouble. I dub thee the old goat. Welcome to the channel, Betty Sue. Justin from Bikini Designs, and this is the old goat. Now I'm going to take you around the exterior first. We're going to have a look around what needs to be done, and then we'll have a look at the motor, a little bit of the undercarriage, and then we'll move into the interior. Show you what 31 years of use and abuse has done to this vehicle. Overall, she's not too bad condition. Mechanically, she's really, with most 80 series Land Cruisers, very, very tough. This is the 1HDT 4.2 5-speed manual. So she's really, really good. We'll get onto the sort of motor stuff that we've done. Bodywork, we've got a little bit of work to do here, so we're going to have to do some panel beating. As with a lot of 80s, they do suffer from the clear coat that starts peeling off. We do have some paint that's obviously deteriorated there quite badly on the arches there. So now, a little bit of a backstory with this 80. She's actually put herself on her side, and this was actually the first vehicle I ever recovered, which is quite ironic, and now I'm the proud owner of this vehicle. So this was the side that she actually rolled onto. So there is a little bit of damage in areas. There's a very small dent here, so we've got to kind of see to that. Scratches, we've got clear coat to sort out, the arches. There's a few things we need to do. But 31 years old, the old girl. She's not too bad. Everything just works. That's what's great about a Toyota Land Cruiser. Everything's so simple, it's mechanical, and it's fantastic. There's another slight dent there. You can see that. So this has been sat for about 3.5 years, sat in the drive. It's not had a lot of TLC done to it. So over the past week, I've really put the hours in and to get her into really good sort of fighting order. We'll walk around this side. So there's a lot of work we've kind of done to get things. I know these are the original side steps, so they will be going, and we'll be fabricating our own side steps for the 80. We'll be fabricating our own rear bar, so that'll come in a couple of future episodes. So I took the original Land Cruiser wheels off and put these modular wheels on, just give it a better look. It's got a better stance now, so she looks alright. As you can see, a lot of the paint is sort of scratched. You've got your battle scars everywhere. I mean, what can you expect from a 31-year-old vehicle? And this one right here, you've actually got the paint coming off. So cosmetically, she needs a little bit of work. And this old bar that we have here, and this winch is quite a bad boy. From what the research I've done, the M8274 is what I believe is a competition winch. A very, very fast spool. It all works. It's a really good condition. The internals, the rope obviously needs a really good clean, but she works great. Really, really nice. So I think What we're going to do is, I unfortunately don't like the look of the winch, because what we had to do is cut the grill to get the winch fitted, and I don't really like that. I do have a new set of lights and a grill coming, so we're going to change the whole look of the front of the vehicle, including the bar. That's going to change. And with most 80 series, they do suffer from a lot of paint issues, especially on the bonnet areas, because I think that is due to the 4.2s, massive engine, a whole lot of heat coming through here, and I just don't think from factory the actual paint and the clear coat that was applied was in a really good way to stand the test of time. But she hasn't done too badly, so there's a few areas that we need to sort out. On this corner we've got a little bit of rust here that's eaten away one of the panels there, so we're going to either have to get a rear quarter, or I'm going to cut this out and rebuild this section, re-weld in some new steel, get that repaired. So there's a little bit of body work to do. So there's that little corner there, and I think this is exactly the same on this one here. So it's not as bad on this corner, so we can repair this. So luckily these are repairable. We've got a little bit of bubbling here, so we're going to strip all this off, and we'll be able to get rid of all these rust bubbles. And on the rear doors, and I think this might be a common problem, is with this area here, you can see how the paint sort of cracked and the rust is starting to set in over here. So this all has to be ground back, and then we're going to do some body, take that all the way back down to bare metal, and then we'll treat that and get rid of that rust. With the chassis, you can see these spots that's got a surface rust. So in terms of the chassis, she's actually really good shape. It's just obviously surface rust we need to attend to, so we'll be tackling that. So let's have a look at the engine bay. Introducing the 4.2 turbo diesel, the 1HDT motor. She was really dirty inside here. We've spent a lot of time cleaning, especially the hard to remove grime and just stuff that's been caked and layered over 31 years. It's just been in here, so we've spent a lot of time trying to clean things up. As you can see, it is not 100% clean. There's still a whole bunch of work we've got to do in some areas, but overall she's in really good condition. She runs really good. We did service her, so over the past sort of 9 days I've been working super hard to get her through an MOT, and that has been a huge milestone. We've got her through the MOT, we've got her running, she's on the road, she's all legal, which is awesome, a massive accomplishment. However, there is still more to do. The engine bay was full of a whole bunch of loose cables in areas. I've ripped all that out, got rid of all that kind of stuff. It was wires that were going into areas that I have no idea what they were doing. They were open-ended cables, so I just got rid of the whole lot of them, and just deleted them. Those two blue pipes right there, those are diff breathers. They're going to be ripped out and replaced. That's not really good practice, leaving them open like that. As you can imagine, ingress of any sort of dirt and moisture is not what you want in your diffs. So we get rid of that, we'll sort that out, make sure, give them a good old home. So we'll sort that kind of thing out. And what we have done through the service is we have done the cold start delete, because a lot of 80 series, they do suffer from overfueling on initial startup. So we got the cold start delete sorted. That has improved things quite drastically. However, the idle does need to be sorted out. So she does idle slightly lumpy. As you can imagine, the vehicle is 31 years old, so things start wearing out, so we just need to readjust the diesel pump. So that'll be in a different episode, we'll focus on that. The major milestone has been passed by getting her MOT'd. Overall, she runs really good. She's a 24 volt and then converts to 12 volt, so she's got two batteries she runs off of, and then converts it to 12 volt throughout the vehicle. As you can see, the airbox that needs a refurb. And what else we've tackled is the clutch. The clutch was really stiff, and the first thing that I wanted to do is get a new master cylinder and a slave cylinder down by the gearbox, change those out, and the fluid was really bad. I don't think it was ever changed. It was like really thick black oil. So we cleaned everything out, and the clutch is really good. It gives me a really good indication of how much health is left and what sort of level the clutch is at right now. And she's got a whole bunch of life left in her, which is really good. As you notice, the brake fluid is really dark, which is not good. So this is another job that we've got to do, is drain all the brake fluid. I think we'll service this whole area, and we're going to go through every single caliper and service all the calipers. I might even swap to new depending on what the condition is when we get down there to the wheels. So overall, the motor is in really good shape. She runs beautifully well. We've got a fuel additive in the fuel system right now, so that's helping the injectors, it's helping everything out, and she's running really, really good. Okay, let's have a look at the interior. So just standard Toyota brown interior, very, very sort of classic colors that's been used. We've got a sort of power system at the back there, that's going to be taken out. But overall, everything is in relatively decent shape. There used to be a console there. I'll show you in a different shot. So I've returned that back to its original standard now. I've reconnected up the heated seats. They're all good. So this does need to get sorted out as well. That was painted black, but obviously all the paint is peeling off. There's all these screw penetration marks. I'm going to see if we can try and tackle that either. Get this wrapped, re-wrapped with some form of upholstery, either a leather, different color, and I think ultimately we're going to change the color of the interior. But for now, we're just going to get things in a decent sort of shape. We have sort of vacuumed everything out. It does need a good clean internally, like the handles. You can see how really dirty they are from standing for all this time. We'll have a look at the sunroof. I don't know if I can close that. I'll turn that on quickly. So you can see the lines on the actual ceiling there. Super dark, so they do need a good old clean and a wash. So I've just got the TJM universal seat covers. They've really helped, but below the seat covers, the seats are actually in really good shape. The rear seats, all original, really nice material. I actually love this classic feel. It looks really, really nice. It's just a pity, it's just the brown. I'm not so sure on the brown. I'd like to retain the interior, so I think we're going to be hunting around for some bits that we need, especially on the passenger door. I'll show you the switch on that we need to sort that out. 3 of the electric windows work. The passenger side, the driver side, and the door that I'm stood in. That window right there, the motor works. I've tested the motor works great, but I think there's a broken cable between the door and the actual controller underneath the dash. So we're going to have to figure out where that cable goes and get power back to that motor, and that window will work. So which is good news, because I think those motors are a little bit pricey. So that is good news. This one works next to me. They're a little bit slow, so I'm going to have to take the door cards off, go through all the runners, get them re-greased, and give that a good old clean out. As you can imagine, 31 years of dust, dirt, and debris has built up. Let's take you around the back. Okay, so she's got an aftermarket sort of tire carrier at the moment. God damn! That was pretty stiff. Everything works though. So what we've got here is, oh, excuse the dust, damn. So a lot of stuff is all over the place. So this used to be the CB that was in the vehicle, so I took that out because we will be moving the CB and getting a sort of new home for that. But more importantly, she's got front runner wolf boxes, like a slide out drawer. So I'll show you this. I think this is one of the front runner's first products, so this is quite an old product. So it holds 6 wolf boxes, and these are great boxes. So I've got tools and stuff that I've been using throughout the restoration. I've got them all in here, so I've got them at sort of grabbing distance. There's a little bit of a sort of shelf here. We are going to get rid of this upper shelf here and that cage. We're going to take that off, take the power system out, and move all the stuff into more usable areas. I just don't like the look of it being right there. It's right in my view, and I'm going to move that somewhere else. Something that's a bit more kind of where I want it type thing. And the great thing about these 80s, they do have factory storage pods on both sides. So there I've got the original bottle jack is behind there, which is great, and the original toolkit, which is really cool to have. So I need to find out, some of these areas obviously have little covers. We're going to have to salvage them from a dealer, and a lot of these panels, they've got a lot of screw holes everywhere where people have tried to mount things over time. So we're going to see if we can get these renewed. These back windows, they're a bit stiff. They do need to be cleaned out. They've been sat for a very, very long time, and they've got a lot of moss and dirt and grime that's been built up. So that once we rip out all this stuff in the back here, we will be able to get to these windows and really clean them out. So we do have a plan for the left and the right windows. We've got a plan for that later. For now, we're just going to focus on getting everything clean and tidy, and get it to at a sort of a nice level, a clean slate where we can start building and constructing our own things here. So, and tailgate, she's in generally good condition. It's got like a rubber cover here. This is going to go. This is being changed out for some storage bins. I'm hopefully going to fabricate that myself, along with a rear bar, tire carrier, jerry can holder, and a front bumper as well. So we're going to sort that out. So that should be up in a future episode. We'll be changing out the plastic snorkel. I'm not sure what make that snorkel is. That'll be changed out to a stainless steel snorkel, which I'll be fabricating. I'll get that on the Land Cruiser. Right, just to give you a view, sort of the couple of problem areas that we've got. So in the MOT, my front diff was picked up. It had a lot of play on the output shaft, and on my own inspection, I've found that the bearings are basically shot in that area. So the whole diff needs to be ripped out, rebuilt, and reset. Which is it's not too bad. I'm going to get that all done, get new bearings, and then I'm going to sort out the backlash on the front, get a new sort of pinion seal. As you can see, it does throw a lot of oil everywhere, which is not good. So we'll end up cooking those bearings. So I'm just relying on rear-wheel drive. I don't engage the center diff or the front diff. The front diff has been rebuilt and it's got chromoly CV and axle, so she's super strong on the front. The axle housing itself is in really good shape. She looks really good. The rear axle, however, does need a lot of work in terms of, mainly from a cosmetic point of view. She's got a build-up of surface rust, along with a lot of areas like the suspension. So I'm going to need new springs, some new shocks, get rid of these, and then we're going to coat the whole chassis in a Raptor coat and get that sort of protected, ready for winter. Another thing that's really bad is this power cable right next to the exhaust pipe. That is not good practice, especially having an indication of a conduit that is melting right there, which is not good. So this is going to the auxiliary battery at the back. So I have disconnected that to make it safe, but this is definitely not good. So we're going to be ripping that out and changing the route of that cable to a much safer route, a bit better. So I'll take you around the back, have you look at the back axle, and you can see what I mean in terms of the rust. So pretty much the same for the back. There's a whole lot of surface rust on the axle. This is the worst part about the vehicle, is the rear axle. The chassis and the other components are not too bad. I have spent a lot of time getting rid of all the dust and mud that has been sat on this vehicle for so long. I've managed to get most of it off, but ultimately we've got to take this diff, the entire axle, we've got to drop it off the vehicle. We've got to change the shocks and springs. That's the easy part. The hard part is getting rid of all these components and basically taken back to bare metal, and resurfacing and recoating this axle housing, because if I don't do it now, I'm going to suffer later down the line. So I want to make sure everything's in good shape, and it's probably a good thing that I tackle everything here, because we are going to be doing the brakes, the calipers, the discs, the whole thing. So hopefully by sort of winter time, the entirety of the lower chassis, all the components are look pristine condition and look relatively new. So there is a lot of work we got to do in terms of rust prevention, and get rid of the surface rust that is currently here. So there are things that we need to sort out, and I'm going to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and just update things, re-oil everything, re-grease all the components, moving components, suspension components. We are going to lift the vehicle more. She's currently sat on a 2-inch lift. That is going to increase. We are going to change the tire size as well. So there's a lot of work we have planned for this vehicle, and hopefully she will come out pretty good, and I'm very confident she will. Things like this sort of bar here that touches on the tow bar, there's a lot of rust in this, so there's a lot of things we've got to take off the vehicle, get it back to bare metal and get it resurfaced, and just get a good lick of paint on there. And if things cannot be salvaged, like bolts, I've got a good feeling that we are going to struggle with a lot of the bolts, especially in some of the areas. We're gonna renew, I think, a lot of especially the suspension components. I'm going to get those all renewed, especially with the bushings and all the bolts, get everything brand new so we know it's in good shape and good fighting order. I have noticed another trailer plug that is hidden up here somewhere. I'm not sure what the hell that's doing. So again, we're going to have to trace back wires and pull things out that don't need to be here. So there's a lot of work in terms of that going on. Over the past sort of 9 days, I've removed a hell of a lot off the vehicle and got rid of stuff that it doesn't need to be there. But overall, she's not too bad. I think she's in good fighting order, especially the mechanical side of things. The motor, the gearbox is really good. The wheels, the wheel bearings, everything's in really good shape. So it's mainly cosmetics, very minimal mechanical work that we need to focus on. But overall, I think this is going to be an awesome project. For me to try and describe the emotions and the feelings and just everything, the experience of owning something as old as this, something as raw and tough. You can just feel everything. You can feel the motor, you can feel the drivetrain, you can everything about the 80 series, especially this one. She's really raw, she's really tough, especially compared to the Ford Ranger that I've got, which is more luxurious. But that vehicle has always made me nervous, whereas I feel at peace, I feel content, I'm very confident in this vehicle. It's just something about it that it's amazing to drive. It's got so much character inside. On the outside, from listening to her, obviously you can hear her in the video, she's an amazing vehicle to drive, to own. So I am super excited for the project. I look forward to transforming this into something incredible. Like most vehicles, they're a projection of your personality. Like the Ford Ranger, that has been an absolute love affair with myself and the Ford Ranger. I've turned it into something really awesome, and we're going to be doing exactly the same thing with the 80 series behind me, dubbed the Old Goat. So I really look forward to it. It's going to be a really fun overall restoration and sort of like turning it into a bit of a monster project. Super excited. So what I'll put in the description is a link to a workshop repair manual, which I found very, very useful. There's over 1,000 pages of instructions on how to repair these vehicles. So if any of you guys looking for an 80 series or have an 80 series that needs something or needs a little bit of help to repair something, that might help you guys out. So it's really, really good to have. They are very simple to fix. This is what I love about them. So awesome. So thank you so much for watching the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, please share it with friends, and we'll definitely see you in the next one.